Hey everybody, welcome to Snap Take. This is Glazer of Snap Judgments, the official podcast of Marvel Snap Zone, and Elsa is freaking fantastic. Is she as good as Loki was the first 3 days? If she's not, she's damn close. This is the second straight absolutely bonkers, overpowered season pass card they've released, which is, look, there's going to be complaints about this. Pay to win, yada yada. We got like 4 or 5 mediocre season pass cards in a row before Loki. I'm down for shaking up the meta like this. I think Elsa is great. She builds fun decks. We'll see if my opinion changes once everyone's playing her. But for the time being, oh crap, Elsa is great. I'm going to show you my 2 favorite Elsa lists so far today. One hit infinite, and one I've got like an 87% win rate with. One is 30-2 from combat, and one has I'm winning like 87% of games. I played for an hour and a half and got from 70 to 87. It's silly. Okay. Before we get there, I'd like to invite you to subscribe. What we do on the channel is we bring you 2 brand new decks every single weekday. These decks are ahead of the meta. They are things you can use to climb, to hit infinite, to climb in infinity, to get your infinity borders and conquest. We help you. In addition, we do the biggest giveaway in all of Snap every month. We try and give back to the community. We gave away 15 season passes this month. We believe in community, and we hope you believe in us. We hope you hit that sub button. We hope you like. We hope you comment. Any of that really helps the channel out. It helps with the YouTube algorithm. We'd appreciate it. Oh, we're looking. I was like, this isn't my slide. I wanted it to be. We're looking for 2 more winners of the giveaway. If you entered on Marvel Snap Zone and you won, you have an email waiting in the email that you provided right now. But Sergio on Twitter and Remishov Games on YouTube. Please collect your season passes. All you have to do is shoot me an email at the email address in the About section. Sergio also got a DM on Twitter. So please reply to get your stuff. It's free. Why not? Deck credits. We love deck credits here. People put a lot of work into this. I left Rabbit Sweet under Twitter. What you gonna do? All right, I'll tell you how to find Lambie in one sec. Combat Snap is twitter.com/combat snap. And if you like this channel, I think you'll love Combat's YouTube. It's youtube.com/@combat snap. Combat is a tournament player, phenomenal deck builder, phenomenal player. He plays at an extremely high level. He is the, I guess, second best after Lambie player I know at like reading what your opponent's going to do, and he's so good at it that he's multiple times made Negasonic Teenage Warhead an effective card just predicting opponents. The second deck I built pre-season with Lambie. I was sitting in his self-promotion chat chatting with Lambie. Lambie will be on the podcast next week. This week we have Interrobang and Prashawn. They'll be on the Marvel Snap Zone YouTube with me and Roy having a whole podcast episode about the new season. Make sure you check that out. It should be out tomorrow, as if you're watching this. But Lambie is on next week with Peaceful Sea. Lambie's the best player in the game, if you're not aware. We talked about this deck, and then I went and played it, and this is the one I've got like an 85% win rate with. We're gonna look at it. You can find Lambie. He's Lambie Series TV. We'll spell Lambie Series. You know how to spell Series TV on Twitch. That's the best place to find him. Check out his Discord. He's an incredibly kind person. I really enjoy Lambie. And beyond being an incredibly kind person, he is the best. So you should check him out. Finally, I wasn't going to talk patch because this patch was marvelously underwhelming. But because I got multiple messages being like, "Yo, patch talk when?" I'm going to talk patch too. So don't stress that. We'll talk about the cards updated in the patch at the end of this video. This is Combat's Elsa move. He went 30-2. He went 19-1, and then a sad only 11-1 after that. This deck is nuts. He hit infinite basically freaking immediately with it. It's got a million plays. It is an expensive deck. Elsa decks, I think the downside to them is unlike Loki decks, which Loki only really needed Quinjet when Loki first came out. It really only needed Quinjet and Collector to be good. Elsa decks seem to be a little more expensive. They really want Kitty and Mobius at the very least. This version is also taking advantage of Silk, Ghost Spider, and 2099, along with an extra assist from Alia. Oh, and Jeff. Jesus, this is an expensive deck. I don't think I realized just how expensive. The only non-like fancy cards here are Series 2 Angela and Series 2 Craven and Series 3 Spider-Man. Oh, and I guess Wave is Series 3 also. So, whatever. But look at all these sweet hips. Okay, this deck basically fills lanes. It gets extra power with Elsa. That's it. Jeff can fill a lane, help let you fill it more than once. Ghost Spider can pull something out of a lane, let you fill it more than once. Kitty Pride can, you guessed it, fill a lane more than once. Silk, guess what? More than once. Spider Man, more than once. It's awesome. You have so many ways to absolutely wreck the face off your opponent. When you're dropping like an 8-power Silk, an 8-power Spider-Man, and 6-power Jeff, and like an 8 or 9-power Kitty with a huge Angela, good luck to your opponent. And if they think they can stop you, spoiler, you've got priority and Alioth. It's nuts. Okay. Ghost is fine as, excuse me, Ghost Spider is fine as Iron Fist here. 2099 can be Vulture. You lose a little bit. So, for one more cost, 2099 gives you real big upside. I played 2099 in a different deck the other day, a Rebus deck, and I killed a Magneto, right? At that point, he's a 418. 418 is a lot of stats. You're only moving Vulture once, really likely with this deck, so he's likely to be about a 3-8, which is like fine, but it's not incredible. Spider-Man 29 for one more cost has far, far more upside, and you probably want to add a second move card. Jeff can be a Nightcrawler. That's actually not a huge downside here, but you're going to need Mobius, Kitty, and Elsa. No replacements allowed. All right, turn by turn. I think this might be broken. This might be the best deck I've played in quite a long time. It can be weak to Shadow King, but like if you look at the base stats on these cards, right? Like your Silk and your Spider-Man and your 2099 are just decent and win a lot of the games from decks that play Shadow King unless they can like really go off on you. All right, so Kitty, into the order of my two preferences: Angela, Craven, Elsa, Silk, Mobius, and Jeff. I like to save Mobius a little later just in case of a rogue. Silk and Jeff are lane fillers, not starters of the pattern, but if you need to, you need to. Turn 3, a 2 and Kitty, or again, the same thing. Turn 4, Spider-Man and Kitty. If you need Spider-Man on 3, you'll be fine, but again, Spider-Man is a really good lane filler. Kitty is a really good lane filler. You're trying to take advantage of different ways to fill up those lanes. Turn 5 is Wave and Mobius. Wave and Mobius is phenomenal. If they didn't play Mobius, you get to play Alioth and Kitty and just win right there. And if not, you can Ghost Spider and 2099. So you drop 29, you Ghost Spider into a lane that you think they're threatening. You end up killing something like their Kitty, ideally, because a lot of other stuff isn't revealed, or a Bishop, or I don't know, whatever. A Collector, stuff like that that they thought was going to win a lane. You get to just sort of have 2099 jump on top of it and smash. Turn 6, Alioth on what you can, and then you win the game. This deck is sick. Variant talk before we move on. This is one of the prettiest decks ever, as far as I'm concerned. It's got Elsa, Jeff, Mobius, Wave, 2099, Alioth. That's a 6-hit deck. That's awesome. I love this Spider-Man that came from a bundle. I love this. From a season pass. Angela came from a bundle. This is still one of the best Kitty Prides. Spotlight Silk, Spotlight Jeff, and a season pass Ghost Spider. I'd like a better Ghost Spider, but like for a character design I love a lot. I don't love all the art on the variants. I don't know what to tell you. I don't have this Elsa yet. I'm just willing it into my shop so that I will have it by the time you see this. So much like I do with Zabu and I did for a while with Mobius, expect to see the hip Elsa until it shows up in my shop so I can buy it, get my hands on it. I bought Hip Blade today. I wasn't sure if I should, but it's vampire season. Why not? And I've been saying I don't really like the Avengers Blade I have, so let's hip it. The deck I've been playing mostly is House of Pain. I played this deck enough to be sure that it was completely nuts. It was like 7 or 8 games, but I played for about an hour and a half and did basically my whole climb. I climbed from 85 to 87 with Loki in like 2 minutes because I just wanted to see how a different Loki deck felt with all the changes we'll talk about soon. But literally, I played from 11 to 11:40 last night, and then I played from like 7:40 to 8:10 today, and I climbed a bajillion levels with this deck. The opponent can't do anything to stop it unless they rogue you, and then have like wave. Besides that, you just go off. I guess Shadow King's annoying. I've beaten 2 or 3 Shadow Kings though, so like I don't know. Try and win 3 lanes because like there's very little reason not to. The original version of this had like Lambie hit got an Infinity Border with a version of this that ran Iron Man because Elsa wasn't out. It ran Jeff in the Nightcrawler spot, and then it ran Iceman spot. So Elsa has to be in the deck, and it turns out Elsa means so much power that I basically immediately cut Iron Man after like 2 games. I wanted another one, so I added Nightcrawler, and then Wasp is just amazing. Like Wasp is a 0/3 that becomes a 0/6. It's just bonkers. Like that's crazy power. Bast is as always the key to the deck, especially because Kitty Pryde is like back to being one of the best cards in the game once it gets basted. Nightcrawler is phenomenal as a 1/5 in this. There is some weakness to Killmonger here in terms of Kitty, but like the only other card that it really hits is Nightcrawler. So it's really just Shadow King and I guess Shang-Chi, which we're not seeing a lot of. I've been beating Alioth too. It just doesn't go big in enough places. Alioth decks. There's no replacement for Elsa, Kitty, Hitmonkey, or Mobius here, like at all. I'm sorry. You have to have these cards. Wasp is your swing spot. It can be Jeff, Iron Man, Maria Hill, or even Falcon. I think actually Maria Hill's probably decent here. It adds an extra 1, which isn't ideal, but that 1 makes it 2, and that's just really good value for this deck fairly often. What does House of Pain do? Jump around. All right, Bast, especially if you have Beast. Because you want to be using Bast once early and once like turn 4 or 5. And if you have Beast, that's pretty simple to do. Turn 2, Angela, Elsa, and Mobius in that order. Elsa is real safe when she comes out, unless they're running like 2099 or name of the card is now escaping me. Lady Deathstrike. Elsa's pretty damn safe. So like don't worry about it. Just don't fret getting Elsa out. Angela's great. Angela can start scaling right away if she comes out. And Mobius is fine here. You'd rather save it to avoid Rogue, but if you need to, you need to. Turn 3 is Bishop, and then turn 4 is Kitty and Beast, and now you have a 0-power Beast, and you can start filling lanes. Very often, Beast fills a lane for me, and then returns stuff to hand. Beast gets the trigger, becoming 6 or 7 power, depending on if he was Bast, and then bounces back, and then you have everything else cheap. Turn 5, you want to get your scaling card set up and Mobius out. So that's Angela Bishop in particular, Bast in particular. Although if you've made something else pretty big, be careful with that Bast, right? I've had a 5-power Nightcrawler, which you don't really want to bring back down to 3 as a general rule. If you think they're going to wave and you don't have Mobius, go with Hitmonkey, Mysterio, and Wasp this turn. It's still plenty of power. Mysterio plus freaking Bast plus Elsa is 18 power for 2, and that's I don't know, feels like it's probably good in Marvel Snap. Hitmonkey with Mysterio and Wasp, that's 2, 4, 6, 8 power. Plus his native 2. Now we're at 10. If he's hit by Bast, now it's 11. If you add another 1-drop because you did it the last turn of the game, now it's 13. God forbid there's a double on reveal or any such nonsense. Hitmonkey is real good in this deck, is basically what I'm telling you. Turn 6, you drop everything you can. And if you dropped everything turn 5, then turn 6, you drop America Chavez, and that's perfectly freaking fine. This is really easy to play and really strong, and if you can play it, please play it. You're not going to be sad. Both of these decks, right? But, like, this one's, I mean, mine-ish. Mine with a caveat, so I think you should play it. Alright. Variants, again, a beautiful variant deck. Fucking Hip Wasp was in my shop last week, and now I wish I bought it. I was like, when am I really going to play Wasp again? And then immediately after I found 15 Wasp decks, I'd really like that Hip Bishop too. And once I have them, well, Angela and America don't have hips, and I would have, I'm happy I didn't buy the Kitty Hip. The Kitty Hip is not as good as this one. I'd have like a nearly full hip deck. There's 3 Nightcrawlers I have I really like. As always, this Bast is arguably the best variant in the game, the best hip variant in the game. So is this Mobius. I have a better Hitmonkey, but we're so hippie here that we like have to run this one. Also note that 3 of the hips here, Beast, Mobius, and Mysterio, have gold backgrounds already, so you don't even really need to gold them. But that Bast is gorgeous. If you see that Bast and you're playing decks like this, go get it. Also, this is a double redhead deck, which I just realized. You got Angela and Elsa chilling as redheads together. All right. OTA. Sorry, full patch. These suck. I'm not gonna mince words. There's nothing fancy about them. They're all like completely fine cards that are now slightly different. The whole difference for Mojo, for anyone who missed it, is that now he works in things like Space Throne and gets the bonus. Cool, I guess. Mojo's reasonably good with Elsa. If everyone's playing Elsa, because that's a 2/8 that's going to become like that can become 2 to 11 worth of value. It's a lot of stats. Um, Uatu becomes a 1/1, and you can always see the right location of the game if he's in your deck. That has some value for decks that give a crap about that kind of thing. Mantis is a one, what goes from 1/2 to a 2/3. Um, Same ability. It's a little easier to hit with onto a little better stats. Whatever. It's still a bad card in my personal opinion. Cable is decent now in Loki decks. He was always kind of decent in Loki decks, but now he's, I don't know, parallel-ish, a little better maybe. Now he's a 3/4, which is like he's almost like a backup Coulson in those Loki decks. Sometimes you get a really good card from them. What we've learned from Loki being out is people generally put good cards in their deck, so it's nice to be able to take the good card they have in their deck. It's also a nice thing to steal that you have no, they can't draw this game, and you have. And Maria Hill, I think, is the big winner. She goes from 2/3 to 1/2, and now she just puts a 2 in your hand. And I think anything that helps you curve out like that has value. A 1/2 that makes a 2 is good. And 2s aren't as likely to have negative value for you as 1s. There's a lot of 1s that kind of suck if you get them. Like, you don't really want an Ebony Maw. At certain points in the game, you don't really want a Hood. Maria Hill is giving you a 2-drop, and 2-drops are usually pretty decent. I played Maria Hill's in that Loki deck I tried, and she already gave me an Elsa, right? Like, there's just good cards Maria Hill can get. Don't hesitate to try her out. Here's a deck for each of the cards that were changed. This is what I would do with the hell card is this? This is supposed to be the Mojo deck, and then I completely freaking spaced on putting Mojo in because I'm smart. Mojo should be either Dazzler or Iron Lad. Please excuse me. We have another deck with Mojo, so chill. But like Mojo would be really, really good in this deck. Mojo and Jean Grey basically means Mojo is going to be a 2/8, and then Dazzler is going to be a 3/6 or 3/8, or sorry, yeah, 3/6 or 3/8. And then you can pump that further with Blue Marvel. You can get more pumps with that for Elsa. You can drop Jeff, Ant-Man in there, etc. And you just basically win that freaking lane. You have Thanos to get the extra stones in there. You have Claw to add extra power if you need it. Professor X and Claw and Jeff all have synergy as well. And everything should work out really, really well together. I think the cut might actually be Mobius. There's no way to like discount your cards any damn way. So I think you probably just cut Mobius and keep the Lad, because Lad is really, really nice for hitting Professor X, Claw, Spectrum, etc. And just Stones, because Stone's abilities are good. So like I think it's cut Lad at cut Mobius at Mojo, and I think this deck might be really good. I'm gonna test it out. Probably in proving grounds, because I'd like to be infinite so I can not worry about things. And over the next week or so I'll get there just by casually playing. I'm not gonna like grind for it. What do I look like over here? Alright, that's deck one. Deck two is Uatu the Valkyrie. I think Uatu's decent with Valkyrie. Valkyrie wants to know what locations it can play in. So this deck can do that, right? This is another one that could run Mojo. It's basically Mojo or Dazzler. They're just good cards with Valkyrie because when Valkyrie hits them, you win that lane. You've got lots of ways to fill locations here. In particular, Shauna and Squirrel Girl do an amazing job of filling locations when you wouldn't expect them to. Shadow King and Valkyrie mess opponents on up. Blue Marvel and Khazar pump all the cards in your deck. I think this is a decent modern zoo. Again, Captain America is kind of fillery here. I'm going to be completely honest. This is like my favorite variant of the game. This Captain America, I think it's freaking fantastic. I also really love that Ant-Man, by the way. Both look amazing animated. That's kind of why they're here. This is the best home for Ghost because you want Valkyrie and Shadow King to go last and you don't want to accidentally be ahead. So don't worry about it, run Ghost. I think this deck's actually probably pretty good. Is Uatu necessary? I don't know, man. Like, probably not. It's probably just a bad card here. But again, Valkyrie really cares about locations, and knowing what the right location is from the start of the game has extra value for that. W shared a Guardians deck. I threw Mantis in over Medusa. I have the cool hit Mantis, so I'm not too sad about that. Look, it's fine. I don't know. I don't have any like super strong feelings about this Mantis here. It's not as good as Medusa, right? Like Medusa is just a straight up better card in this deck, but like there's not a better home for Mantis, so here she is. It's kind of it. We talked about this deck yesterday. If you want to know how to play it, check yesterday's video, please. Rabbit Sweet, we talked again about this deck yesterday. Abel didn't fit in it yesterday. He does today. That was the spot I sort of settled on for Spider-Man in yesterday's video, because Spider-Man should be good with Elsa. You can get the extra bonus. But Cable's not significantly worse here, I don't believe. Also gets the Surfer bonus and gets you an extra card to play. Having like an extra card that synergizes with Loki seems good here. You want a Loki a reasonable amount with this kind of deck, right around turn 5. So like enjoy, right? Like if you have Snow Guard, Coulson and Cable, odds are you're gonna have extra cards in your hand, and you have 3 different ways to pump the other cards in your deck. And I figured like if you're gonna run this, you might as well have Brood and Absorbing Man as an upside play. I think this is probably pretty cool too. Next up, we have a straight Loki. I've been messing with different versions of this. This is the Loki I played that I told you I tested out earlier. I try and play 2 or 3 games with every deck. I had fun with this, so I played a little longer. There's just enough Killmonger out there right now to make this deck sad, so I ended up cutting Agent 13 for, you guessed it, Elsa, because Elsa's kind of silly, and said, let's go to town. You can also cut it for Shang-Chi if you prefer. I'm just having fun with Elsa, so I decided to. This deck died miserably to Shang-Chi between Collector and Angela. Not Shang-Chi, excuse me. To Shadow King between Collector and Angela. I mean, fine, right? I'm not going to cut it. It's super fun. You're playing a different a different deck every game with this until you see Loki. And even then, you're playing a different deck. There's so much card generation. It's really good. It's really smooth to play. You're filling lanes left and right. I did not expect to be filling lanes this much. That's part of why Elsa ended up in the deck. Um, really, really cool deck. I think you'll like it. And again, Shang for Maria Hill or Agent 13 or Elsa for Maria Hill 13 and have fun. And if you don't have Snow Guard, do it that way. Again, you'll be totally fine. This deck just works. There's some argument for Sentinel in this deck over like Mirage, but like my hand was so damn full, I don't really want Sentinel. All right, that's the decks. Thank you so much for watching. If you watched this long, again, as always, please hit that sub button. We'd greatly appreciate the support. We greatly appreciate you watching the video. Sub, like, comment. We'll see you tomorrow with another Snap Take. I promise to have some cool decks for you. Peace.